Hey guys, this is Allison from Alley Cat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And if you get anything from my work, a connected dot, an epiphany, a mind-blown moment, a mushroom-clad moment, a new book to read, a new author to explore, please consider supporting my work. All the links will be down in the description box below. Hermit's Journey. I feel like I've been ignoring it, but I haven't. But these things come out in divine timing because most of these books, not all, but most of these books I'm reading for the first time with you guys, with an exception of a bunch. But this one in particular, I'm reading with you, and this is The Ways of the Lonely One. This next story I'm not, obviously I can't read this book in particular, but I can talk about it, which I will in detail. And this one was really hard for me. I've been tampering with it all day long, because it's that good. We have all, in some form or fashion, sat in ourselves in this journey, whether you are a hermit, really like myself, doing it alone, or you have people around you, but they're not awake, so you're really kind of alone, but you still have help. Regardless of your situation, many people who are awake are embarking on what does ascension mean to them? What does it mean? In many of my videos, I go over how we've all volunteered to be here and why. This is so hard not to just read outright because it's excellent. It is amazing. And a lot of people kind of poo-poo, put their thumbs down to Manly P. Hall. Okay. This is not a Masonic workbook, FYI. This is a lot of wisdom written in stories. Just like Nisha, a lot of his work, a lot of people poo-poo because I don't even want to go there. They don't understand his philosophies. They're not really quite grasping the words and the messaging. The deeper level messaging, it's not surface level. Many people look at the surface level. They don't go within. This, big time. We've all journeyed. We are all now at the precipice of what is to come next. We're looking at society, we're looking at humanity, we're trying to grasp and grapple with the different divides that are happening, the different communities starting to form, the communities that kind of look like they're formed, but they're so dysfunctional that they really are separate. We're looking at all of this in the grand totality, in the scheme of things, trying to find the truth. Your truth is different from mine, but we can all come to an agreement on many things. Many of us have volunteered. Many of us have come down again to help. This is just a beautiful story that I'm going to share in most of my words. I had to quote a lot of stuff this time. There's no escaping the brilliance of this work, just in my view. the one who turned back. Quote, notwithstanding the apparent fact that humanity changes but little, there are great moments when the world really does grow better than it ever was before. End quote. Quote, in each age through which the earth passes, there are a few who win immortality. They are one or two in each great civilization who rise to the fuller requirements of life and learn so well the lessons which confront them that they are capable of becoming a power for the unfoldment of man, end quote. That's huge. Because let's look at the reality on this plane of existence right now. Let's just take a look. It's not now a few men. It is an army, a legion of us who have come down again to help men grow, learn, evolve consciously. And it's hard because we're dealing with a lot of people who are still supposed to be sleeping. There is a huge portion of this population that is supposed to keep sleeping. Why? They're not ready to ascend yet. They're not ready to graduate up to the next density level. They're not ready yet. Earth is a school. I believe what Dolores Cannon states, that there are a lot of newer souls, extraterrestrial, interterrestrial, whatever have you, that has come down to this density to learn. It's not their time. They came to experience this time now, like we've all experienced Atlantis. Some of us are having those memories. Many of us aren't, and that's okay. But the same thing is going to happen to these people who are still sleeping. They will reincarnate into another third density experience, whether it be here or another planet, and eventually through their evolution again, they're going to come to this crux where they're ready to graduate, and they're going to start remembering all the wrongs that have happened and how to undo them, and the people who led them the first time around. We're now all trying to remember those people and who's trying to help us back when. It's just a perpetual cycle. That's all we're doing, is a perpetual cycle. The next statement is epic on our own self-evolution, self-evolved qualities and faculties, which they find the true reason for being. A few who purify their soul go between the veil that separates the gods from men to literally stop the wheel. What are we all trying to do now? Many of us who have come here, who are hermited, who know the truth, and the people around us are going, we're all trying to speak our truth without offending, wiggling around society, trying to wake the people who are in the midway. There's a midway. There's people who are meant to wake up. It's just not right now. They will wake up, but you're seeding them. And many of us have been doing that for a long time. We've been going and talking, and whatever your truth is, whatever you're speaking on, politics, spirituality, math, physics, technology, you're speaking these things into a seeding for people who are still like on the fence. They're like, I don't know. Because there's, let's face it, waves of energy that put people who are vulnerable asleep. And when they fight themselves and go, oh, well, what they're saying is making sense, and there's tangible evidence. This is where and why we're so important here in the now. Even if you're by yourself, you feel alone. You're not always meant to be alone. But when you go out and you're showing and doing your authentic self, you're doing you, you're putting it out there that other people can do their own selves in their authenticity as well. And that's really, really important. And I wrote, insert indigos, star seeds, human angelics. We're here. We came to break the veil and remember. Breaking curses, karma, ancient karma, our lineage karma, and anything holding us back. We're here to remember. We're here, most of us are here to break family cycles, family karma. We're here to break these things so that they cannot repeat for anybody in our lineage moving forward. If you have children, I won't have any children. That's my divine cosmic plan, supposedly. I didn't ask for that. I always wanted children, but it didn't come this lifetime. And who knows? I'm at that point. But we came here as volunteers to end a lot of these things, to move forward. It's going to get trickier as I read on. Quote, from a civilization that has since passed into darkness, there rose one who had suffered much. Sounds familiar. Who had toiled long, had felt the anguish of the world, and had seen the uselessness of mortal glory. Who had performed the great work and climbed the lofty heights, seeking eternally to draw others up to the realms of truth. All the while we become philosophers, scientists, with the thought and gentle touch to humanity of man, our mission here. Well, now, as we've been going through this journey of the hermit, we have all come from different civilizations and places around the world. We've all seen the darkness. Most of us have suffered great loss, great atrocities, have lots of trauma, toiled, and felt the anguish of the world. Many of us are empaths. You can feel it. It's heavy, it's dense. And yet we keep pushing forward, moving forward in our truth to spread the truth. We're all moving forward. We're all climbing at our own rates. Might not feel like you're doing anything, but we're still moving forward. We're persevering. The beautiful soul stands in front of the gates of the one who adorns a gold robe. A very purified being, a radiant God. There are bells on the garment playing whimsical harmonies, a million rays of light shining, all having a prayer of thanksgiving and blessings up here. Those blessings are from those who labored faithfully. Before the footstool of the gods, there was a master. He came from the world of men, one who walked the selfless path. It's many of us. Finally, after eternities of preparing and experiencing in the world of things, this soul earned the right to open the door of immortality. Right there is what is the ascension. You come from the world of men, and now you're on the precipice of moving forward into something else. The grand experiment in our reality is taking this meat suit with us, if that's what your soul chose to do. Some might turn crystalline, some might become light beings. We don't really know, because everybody's soul contract is different. Everybody wanted a different experience. But if you're walking that selfless path, here we are. Leading toward the skies up higher, golden stairs emerge from the star to star, left behind in the darkness of the world's eternal night, which for the uncertainty of man, the master places of glory of the eternal sunrise. We all are ushering towards what we want to call the love light, the awareness of compassion and love. There comes a time in life of all living things to stand as this soul stood, quote, on the borderland between the human and the divine, end quote. We are so close, many of us, moving forward. We already did this. We've been here, done that, been here, done that. Now it's just remembering we are on the precipice of the human and the divine. We are the divine, but we're still in physical form. So many have stood there with glorious sorrow, which seen released before them, quote, but with all truly great souls have felt the pangs of longing and could not bear to leave the world behind, end quote. This one's huge. This is a hard one to talk about. My mom, before she died, did not want to leave. She did not want to go home. She didn't want to go ascend, go home, go to God. She did not. She was fearful for me. She was attached to the concept that I would not be able to take care of myself, that I had nobody to help me, and that I'd be a lonely little puppy on the side of the road whimpering. That's what my mom thought of me. Sorry, Mom, but that's the truth. Close, very close, but not my fault. In so many of the chats that I enter and watching different videos and different people speak on such topics, a lot of people have a hard time detaching from things and people, which is why people want to stay behind, because you don't want to detach yourself. It's not because you don't love them. It's not because you hate them. It's just you have a longing for something that you lack. That gets you stuck here in this plane of existence. That's why there are ghosts. There are entities that might not be bad. but you don't know that if they're, if you're having abilities and they're scratching at the wall or they're knocking things down, they need your attention. Not all the time is it a demonic poltergeist thing. They didn't want to move on because they didn't know, they were afraid. And they, most of the time, were attached to someone or something here. Unconditionally love what you have, but you only, when you are physically dead, your meat suit dies. All of this stuff is left behind. It does not come with you. When you can get that out of the way, it's not to say you don't love your parents, don't love your children. It's not to say that, but when that time comes, you need to understand you're only there to give these people and the things an experience. You were their teacher, your guide. They were your teacher and guide. It's both and both, hand in hand. You got to detach. It's the hardest thing to do. It sucks. That doesn't mean you still can't love them and you still can't be a part of their lives. It's just don't keep your energy stuck and stagnant to something because you need it. The only thing you need is yourself. Everything else is a bonus. My opinion, at least. One does contemplate the price that immortality has, for it's hard for one to go behind the veil. It's hard to leave the labors and fellow man in meekness and humility to go. It's hard to seek life eternal. Because again, you've come here and done it over and over again. You might forget, but that's the beauty of forgetting. You don't know. You just, boop, you're born. Unless you are here now remembering. You don't want to leave these things go. Most people have beautiful lives and don't suffer as much as others. And they want to be back. Maybe that's in their contract. But it's hard to move forward into something you have no idea what it is. You don't know what it is. You can't comprehend it. Many of us could see it, but we haven't consciously been there in a long time. Or maybe we have. We just have to remember. Quote, "For once the soul puts on its robe of glory and takes that immortal step, the initiate is no longer of the world. Between him and the hearts of men must always remain the blue veil of the gods. He eternally knows, and so do they, that he is not of their world." End quote. The gods and their different realms. As that moment comes closer, becoming the pillar of light, the voice you walked faithfully, fulfilling the angelic records, the book of your works is closed. The seal of contemplation is upon you now. You have completed this chapter of your being. Like your Akasha is like, sorry, this chapter is now closed. We're starting a new book. Before you lies new worlds to explore, new jobs and duties, new challenges with now a greater understanding. You have risen from the human darkness into the greater light with compassion. Is that what most of us talk about? What we want is compassion for humanity. The Arantia book that I've been reading on my channel talks about the duties and jobs of when you ascend. And there's different levels of where you go. And when you pass all those initiated tests and challenges, Just like a life here, you move up and you get a new job and you get a new rank. You get wings. Who knows? Each density, each matrix game, you live another life. A new life with new challenges, new design, new math, new physics, new duties. I feel that a lot of us are also already experiencing fourth and fifth density challenges and tests to initiate us, to make sure that we can stay in those octaves of flux. We're fluxing right now. A lot of us are between 3 and 5. And that's moment to moment. We're, again, human. And again, we are flawed. We have bad days. We have things that always push and challenge us. It's how we react to it that is our free will. It's hard. But in the grand scheme of things, many of us are just on that precipice of having this happen in whatever form it wishes to have. But I think Manly really did a great job through this little story conveying this. The guide, shining so bright, took the newborn master by the arm to a mountaintop. Before the master of new eyes, the heavens and the plane of existence opened up to unveil its splendor. Quote, as the newborn master gazed with the eye of immortality, he saw floating in the skies the great being whom man knows only as suns and stars. All the planets showed their essence to the master. He saw the angels' flaming sun of the dawn, a world unknown to men, shown before him, gazing out in awe and admiration for the creations. Dolores Cannon talks about how there are different soul matrices who make up suns and the logos, the stars, the planets, other planes of existence hold souls. And that's what this master is experiencing as he's ascending. Dolores talks about when most people go into QHHT and see themselves as rocks or the wind or the fire or the water or the dirt until they evolve into other beings, whether it be the vegetable world or the insect world. This is no different. As you ascend, you are now seeing the entities, the energies that make up these systems. Again, outside the firmament, inside the firmament, flat, round, toroidal, egg shape, it doesn't matter because it's all perception. It's metaphysics. It's all metaphysics. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. There is proof on both, but that shouldn't really require any matter to you because your truth is yours to have. Quote, for when you have finished in the world you leave behind, you have merely earned the right to toil in the realms of light, end quote. You've graduated and you made your way upstairs to the next game, the next level of density, the next beyond. This plan has no rest and no release. Many of us are tired of being here. doing it over and over and over and over again, being the beacons of light, having the energy sucked out of us, having the burden of being outcasted in society because we have a natural way of just healing people or shining the light, whatever it is that you do, it's burdensome sometimes because you feel alone. You've been outcasted. I've been outcasted my entire life. I am very rarely given the respect that I feel I deserve for the work, the conversations. I'm seen as a child in so many people's eyes, and I don't understand why. I don't get it, but I'm treated that way, and it's most of the time I'm always saying my soul is way older than yours. I know why I incarnated when I needed to. And I feel a lot of you feel the same way. You're not given the credit that is due to you. You're not getting the respect that is owed to you for the work that you have put in trying to walk others into the path of light. This plan has no rest and no release. Moving through eternity of now, moving forward on the eternal plan, seeking the source of all, aren't we all? Yelling to the world below, if you only knew, and yet in their own time, they too will see the wondrous plan of divine mind. The master moved into the darkness of night, moving across a single line, dividing the false from the true. That's huge. Standing in silence, a sob broke it. The guide, quote, is the call of the world you are leaving behind. It is the voice speaking from the broken heart of mankind, crying to the gods above to send them light and truth, end quote. What are we doing right now? What do we do? Most people in their daily prayers, your meditations, videos, you see so many people putting it out there. We're asking upstairs for whatever is of the good of humanity to help. We're done. We're tired. We need help. We need assistance. Please help. I don't know, one person that I've come across that hasn't yelled upstairs to what the hell is going on. We need help now, 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 sign language now. I have constantly do it too. I'm like, I'm still alone in a new place. I made that big giant leap. And I'm in a stalemate again. For how long? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't got called for things. We'll see what happens. But I feel like a lot of us are right now in that teetery place. And we're tired. The master was shown the darkness of those who willfully gave up the eternal moans and sadness. The guide took him back to the mountain, expressing that he needs to choose the time and place. He chose the path with wings and outstretched. He wanted to go straight to source. As he flew, the cries and prayers of the suffering called upon him. Confusion set in. He stripped the robe of light and put on the garments of the world. I must go back to work again and give to them the hope that I have found. And here's a conundrum that many of us have faced already, time and time and time again. Does that not hit home with some of you guys? Please leave it in the comments. I am sure it has. You graduated, you ascended, and yet you volunteered to come back lifetime after lifetime, bringing more of your light experience into the physical reality, coming back down and incarnating because you knew that you were one person amongst the many that can hold the light and have the abilities to steer people in the right direction. How many times do we want to come back and hear the cries of humanity? We all have come back. We're all going up to source. Even though source is us, experience itself through us, it's not the same as when you are with source and a part of that brilliant ball of energy. It's not the same. There's nothing to compare it to. There's no comprehension to it. But many of us have already been there. And we came back. And we went up there. And we didn't get all the way. And then we got called back. This is why this is so important. This book, I don't care. You really need to read this section, at least this portion. It's that good. And I'm butchering a lot of it because, and I'm quoting a hell of a lot, but it's necessary. This is what a lot of us have already gone through. And this is where we are right now, sandwiched in humanity, trying to wake people up, trying to move people toward the light, trying to get people to listen to your words, because it is important that they do. They might not wake up tomorrow, but they might wake up a year from now. But it was because you seeding them that information, whatever it was that you planted a little seed in their brain, woke them up out of this dark paradigm that is being fighted for and infiltrated in all different directions by a lot of different beings. It's not just the two, Anunnaki and Draco. There's a whole bunch of other players on the board. 5D chess is correct. But do you know how to play 5D chess? And many people don't. I don't. I could see the different levels of things that need to happen. But many of us are now realizing this is us. This story is us. I'm not even done yet. But this story is us. It's a story of us going through this time and again and again and again. But no, the beautiful part about this, knowing that you volunteer to come back down, there's a reward. I'm going to read on. The master descended back to the muck of the world. Yet a large, bright winged presence shone light on the master. Quote, for there are none greater in all the worlds than those who give their lives for their friends. And there are no greater than those whose friends are the children of earth. End quote. A bolt from heaven hit the master as source came with a message. Quote, I have found one who has built his dwelling place according to the law, end quote. Quote, I am the living God, have turned back with him to labor hand in hand. For the glory of light we both shall serve, end quote. Some groups say that God, the light, has already won the war. It's now just playing out. I don't doubt that the light has already won. The light always wins. It takes turns with the darkness because, again, here we're in polarity. God is of all, the darkness and the light. No matter what, God wins. Satan, the concept of Satan is of God. It's a manifestation, it's a creation of God. Even if it individuated itself and turned its back against God, it's still of God, it's still of the design. The test here is to transcend it all. At what point are you going to go in and do the work? When are you going to wake up to the greater and the bigger questions that expand your consciousness? You don't have to have the answers. It's just starting to ask those questions that expands your mind. It's exposing yourself to content you don't know about. You might not be interested in, but something might pluck a little string in you and open a doorway that you would never think you would walk into. This story, the one who turned back, is a story of a lot of us who already ascended, did the game, uplifted in different densities, just to be called back down to serve for God. And that's what many of us are doing here now. And like Yeshua and others that walked amongst the earth in selflessness and in self-sacrifice for many of those beings, they walked a very lonely path with very few followers and very few people who listened. You know, it's ironic that I chose this life to be the artist, that I make lots of artwork, yet not ever recognized for it, not really ever complimented on it. And at the same time, it's those artists who pass away that made nothing that become famous after their death. It's insane how one could think that way, but it's the truth. Many artists never seen fame until after their death. They did their work to do it. There was a divine purpose in it. And that's many of us. There is many talented people that are indigos, that are starseeds, that are of the angelic collective. Your frequency and creative vibration uplifts the people around you, whether you acknowledge that or not. We volunteered to be here for a reason. Not only did our souls have to come and not have Atlantis 2.0 happen again, but many of us had to come back to help others. We already transcended all of these challenges. And then we added more really fun soul growth challenges and teachings and learnings and lessons that just added to the torture. More obstacles, more challenges, more heartache, more everything, to break your soul. But you're transcending that. Many of you are. So pat yourself on the back. We're here to take back the dominion of this plane. We're here to set things straight. It might not be done in a very nice or pretty way, but sometimes tough love is the best love. I really urge those of you who are really connected with this series. This is a book that is very... Co-host number 1 is meowing really loud. She must have a toy. I urge you guys to go get this book. It's not that expensive. Every story in here is worth the reading. I just take and nuzzle down what the contents of these stories are and break them down in my own perception. But it's a part of our journey. All these stories that I read, how Zarathustra goes about society, trying to give little allegories and whims of knowledge to people, of seeding things into society in the most awkward of places and times. We're all being trained to walk our truth and to walk into our highest and best. It's hard sometimes. And right now, I feel a lot of us are in that stalemate position. Why? This is all divine timing, why this is coming out, because there is a lot of shifts happening in our paradigm. There's a lot of alignments happening energetically. Again, you don't need to believe there are planets outside, inside. It could be the Truman Show for all we matter. The energies still exist. Things already have manifested into existence. So they do exist. These things make a big deal. They are a big deal. And a lot of us are in that, what do I do now? I'm waiting. I've been waiting. I'm waiting. What do I do? What's my role? How do I move into this world? This new world, moving into this new consciousness. And for right now, I say, just do you, boo, live. Do the best that you can each and every day. Try to move forward. Try to keep the negative self-talk out of your head. It's hard because I do it all the time. I'm not going to lie. I beat myself up. I'm my own critic. I'm an Aries. Sorry, guys. My body is absolutely done today. Yeah. We all have a purpose and we have many missions. It's not one. You signed up for multiple missions, multiple quests, mini adventures. If you really look at the World of Warcraft, that's what we're living in. We all have little mini quests, and then we have the major ones that give us like clothes and a sword or an axe or whatever. We're doing that on an energy scale. We all have different assignments with different people. We all move and weave in and out of circles of people because we keep finding people on our frequency. They cling on to you, but when they're done with your energy, they're going to move on. Just let it go. There's so many people out there that need to have a seeding so that they can wake up when it's their divine timing. You are most likely that person that's going to be doing that. So continue doing those things. I saw that. I'm going to be doing some paranormal fun on my channel very soon. The weather wasn't so great out today. my body, I couldn't get out of bed. My hips didn't want to work today. My back has been like that. So it's been a little rough today, but this needed to come out. Very important. Please get this book if you haven't done so. I recommend it. It's a short read. It really is a short read, but I'm reading it with you guys. Because again, a lot of these things are divine timing. It's when source spirit comes and tells me this is when you need to do it. And here we are. Here we are. We're in the precipice. We're on that mountain and we're all looking at all the options that we can take. And we don't know which one to choose yet because moves still have to be made in order for us to make our final decision. But in the meantime, you still have to live your life. You still have to eat. You still have to do what you need to do to get your physical vehicle still moving along in this plane of existence, as ugly as it is. So whether you're doing it by yourself or you're doing it with other people, it's not an easy road either way. Not everybody is blessed to have family. I don't have family. I have people that I can call my family, but they're not my family. I learned a lot when I lost it all. I know who's there for me from my family. Like 4 people that don't live anywhere near me. And I have no financial abundance to that could have helped me at least eat. I'm not married and I have no kids. And the friends that I have interweave again in and out of my life. There's very few people that I have and can call friend that has been my friend for a very long time. A lot of people can't stand my light. A lot of people cannot stand what I am energetically. And I know many of you feel the same way. I am not alone in feeling that way. There are a lot of you that you don't even understand why people can't be around you. It's because you're frequenting so damn high. It's amazing. It should be great. But you don't understand why people can't be around you. Why people treat you a certain way. They can't handle your frequency. It sucks. But know that we're walking this story. Know that we're walking through this story. Although I think this time we don't have to come back. And if you choose to come back, it probably won't be here. And that's again not my choice. I don't want to be back. I want to be my light body again. I have really good memories of my light body, and I want to be in that frequency again. I'm not happy down here. As much as I know I'm helping others, and I'm seeding the light, and I'm getting rid of negative, evil things, that's just my mission. That's my job here. When I'm done, I'm done. I can't wait to go back to where I originally was. Not quite with source, but a little down below source. Still working, but in my light body. Very happy to do that. So, very important episode. I hope all of you enjoyed. It's short, but it's very impactful. And if you read the entirety of the story and all the words that you just, it's mind-blowing. And at moments, I really wanted to well up and tear. I didn't know if I wanted to do happy tears or I wanted to do sad tears because we've all had to make those choices. And they're not easy ones. And many of us knew what we were coming back into. Not only the veil of forgetting, but how hard this life and these lessons are to repeat. But I feel this time we're moving forward and not going to have the chance to come back. So let's manifest that. And hopefully you guys can share. This book has a lot of stories that have source, God, and have Jesus, and just the prejudiceness against this man needs to stop. Yeah, paradigm may not be the best, but again, it's a choice that he chose to experience. And we need to stop judging other people for the experiences that they chose to incarnate in. Whether it be race, religion, sex, or the sexes, we all chose this to teach, to learn, and to grow together. When we learn to transcend it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, yeah, there are warring factions. Yeah, they're trying to take our Stargate and enslave us. But I have a very strong will, and I won't allow that in my paradigm. Sorry. I'm just trying to wake the other people up to the understanding of it all. Those are beings too that fell, and they didn't like God, and they dissociated themselves from that to have their own self-experience. You still need to give them compassion and love, for they do not know. They don't. And sometimes neither do we. We're imperfect. The beauty of this life is trying to find the perfection within. And you're never really going to find it because it's not really here. We can only try to be as perfect as we can each and every day. And that's all we need to move forward. I'm sending each and every one of you protection, shielding, light, and love. I hope everybody has a good rest of the week. Please write in the comments if you resonate with anything that I read, anything that I said. If you feel that you're alone, this is why this is why I'm doing the Hermit's Journey. Because a lot of us are alone. Physically alone. And don't have outlets to talk or get our thoughts out. And this is why I did the series. So stay strong. We're going to get through this together. And let's hope that we're given a little hall pass. We can not have to come back if we don't choose to, and not be reprimanded by source. Oh, you didn't volunteer to come back. I know you're walking with me because you're with me now. I am a part of you. That doesn't make life any easier. Just be serious. So guys, I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Again, there's a lot of ways you can help me. Liking, sharing, subscribing doesn't cost you anything. Only your internet bill, which I'm sure I'm not the only person you watch. And if you would like to support any of my work, all the links are down below. And until the next time, guys, let's move forward together and let's graduate, because it's coming.